Welcome to Uncle Mike's train table. Let's zoom out. All right. So we are in our train room, which is currently occupying our guest room, much to the chagrin of my wife, but it just needs to be done. Let's see, I'll give you a hi. I'm Mike. This is my Lionel train set that goes up every Christmas time. And I thought, what better time to celebrate 85 degrees in Tucson on November 1st than to start breaking it out and kind of walk through a setup of what we have. Admittedly, I like trains. I like model trains. Know a little, but I don't know a lot. So you're gonna kind of hear what y'all are picking up on that maybe I don't know, and maybe it's your first time to seeing something like this. So this is I believe a post-war, if I had to date it, Lionel electric train set. What I know about it is it's locomotive 2018. Locomotives are classified in a number from the sets of wheels they have. So we have 2 forward wheels, 6 driving wheels, and 4 trailing wheels back here. So it would be a Lionel 246. What we have there, it says Lionel 027, made in the US by the Lionel Corporation in New York. So that's the locomotive. The original set came with this locomotive here, this tender car, which doubles as the electric train whistle when activated. The electronics activate a fan in there that basically acts as, that draws air across it and gives you a train whistle. And the original items that came with it were these freight cars, a box car. This is a log car that does have an activating log dumper tray. When it goes across a certain section of track, like this one right here, you can press a button and it will activate a cam in here that eventually ratchets up and would dump the logs off onto a little tray that goes trackside. Let's see, this red open freight car right here, and of course the Lionel caboose section. So the original configuration of this train set right here came with the track that not only included an oval that would go all the way around basically the footprint of this board, but it also has a set of switcher track that would allow the train, depending on how this was toggled, to go on an inside portion. But since I've kind of inherited this, we've turned it from being just a train display into also a train and Christmas Village display. So we decided to do away with the track that comes onto the inside and just stay with the outer perimeter track that goes quite around here. And I'll have a picture that kind of shows what it looks like in its finished state, and kind of go through the steps of putting this together, troubleshooting some issues that we've seen. Things are getting old, a little bit rusty, a little bit worn. Speaking with one of those things that I kind of addressed off the bat. So this is our track that we put together, this O-gauge track. Kind of works on pins and male and female ends that connect together. But through the course of me having this train for 20 plus years, you get a lot of wear in this track and it begins to come apart. I don't affix this track down flat to the board. I just put it all together and kind of let the train go freely on it. So I don't put any fasteners through these right here. This all just kind of lays and it's stuck together. So naturally, some of the pieces that get the most tension on them are these corner pieces. As the load pushes around and pushes out through, you can get a lot of wear, as you can see, in those openings there that accept. Those start to get really worn out, and as the train moves around, it begins to come apart. And all of a sudden, if you're in here and you're not watching it, you've got a piece of train that derails because they've come apart. So I did a little bit of searching. I didn't want to necessarily buy new pieces of track, but what I did find on some message boards, you can buy a pair of these track repair pliers. I'll include a link to where I found these, but it's through an eBay site, through a couple train manufacturers. But you can see there, traditional kind of blunt needle nose pliers there, but they've been bored out to allow you to clamp down on a section of track that has become loose. Let me switch hands here. I can kind of demonstrate. Use my tender car actually to, whoops. All right, give this another go. So what we have is one of our corner pieces of kind of the rectangular oval track display that we'll have going on. And what happens is when you have a train like this running at full speed, the greatest load and wear is going to be in the corners of the track, because you have all that forward force now kind of pushing against the outsides, and these guys want to pull away, and eventually they start to wear out, and they start to get a lot of slop, a lot of play in these sections right here from these pins that are wearing against them as these kind of, wriggle and kind of scoot away, and eventually they'll just kind of slowly separate, and then you've got a derailment on your hands if you're not paying attention. So what we're gonna do with our track pliers here that we've got, just looks like some stock made supplied, kind of a blunt nose on like a needle nose style set of pliers that somebody has just bored out the correct size and shape for the tubing of O-gauge track. We're going to clamp these guys back together to create a more, let's see if I can do this without turning off the camera this time. So I'll kind of show you. So this is me having not treated it. These put together, that was pretty easy, and you can see there's quite a bit of play in those track pieces, and then as there's load pushing against this, they're eventually going to separate. So I'm going to go ahead and take these track pliers and start working on putting the tube into the slot there, and just giving it a good firm clamp down, kind of bring that back into the shape and tension that it needs to be in. All right, that's definitely, holy shoot, that's real closed up. Let's go to this second one here, give a good look before. And let's see, I'll get it settled in there, give it a good tight clamp down. Nice. And same with this third one. There we go. All right, if I can get a few of these. You can see, yeah, those have been tightened up quite much more than they were before. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like tonight and try to fix these together. Oh, that's really snug. Okay, I've been putting this train together for probably the better part of 25 years. I don't think I've ever had track sections that are fitting this snugly together as I did right now. I would be very surprised if over the course of a month of operation, if that starts to work apart. But you can see there's like, that's pretty rigid. So those worked, yeah, that worked really well. There you go.